21, bailouts, sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, Mandarin, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind. Prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years. The world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money they created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guidestones it's written in stone.
A part of that plan, of course, is to induce the gradual surrender of American sovereignty, piece by piece and step by step, to various international organizations, of which the United Nations is the outstanding but far from the only example.
We are Americans, part of something larger than ourselves. For 2 centuries, we've done the hard work of freedom, and tonight, we lead the world in facing down a threat to decency and humanity. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
The plan as outlined to me was to form an organization of veterans, to use as a bluff or as a club at least, to intimidate the government. I appeared before the Congressional Committee, the highest representation of the American people, under subpoena to tell what I knew of activities which I believe might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship. The upshot of the whole thing was that I was supposed to lead an organization of 500,000 men, which would be able to take over the functions of government.
Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. I'm Howard Nema, and you're watching Truth Talk News. There's so much news going on in the world. So many current events are very important. Underreported stuff. Again, this is where news, the truth is uncensored, and news the mainstream media or the lamestream media ignores is the top story. And there's a lot of top stories in the world today. The fact that there are uprisings just about everywhere in the world, but everyone's watching, these reality shows and competition shows and movies and television and hip hop and all this crazy stuff, not paying attention to what's really going on. And what's going on, of course, is a lot of unrest in the world. But what also is going on is a concerted and vicious attack upon the liberties of Americans, our liberties, our freedoms. And all I can say is I'm horrified by what's happened to Dr. Antonella Carpenter, and we are going to continue coverage of this incident right now. I'm going to add this call here that we were just on. I'm going to join the call with Barbara Hartwell, Randy Simmons, Pam Suggs of UnitedTruthSeekers.com, and, of course, Dr. Antonella Carpenter.
Did you get...
Ladies and gentlemen, or I should say gentleman, how are you there, Randy?
Oh, man. It was kind of crazy getting connected.
Well, we're all live and together here. Dr. Carpenter, Pam, I just gave you all an introduction. Barbara, Randy, Pam, and Antonella, thank you for joining us tonight on Truth Talk News. Again, there is so much unrest in the world that's going on, and so much unrest here at home, and attacks against truth. Attacks. I mean, after all, there's uprisings in all across the austerity measures are causing uprisings all over the globe, but the mainstream, the lamestream media don't report it. And what's happening to you? What's happening to you, Dr. Carpenter, is this attack. And again, I did some research today. I had a few minutes that are only when you look up your. I mean, I just wanted to see the COINTELPRO that was happening around. Just putting in Dr. Carpenter, and I see your website. I see it's unbelievable. It's so targeted and obvious. But the average
Bob is always number 3. Bob is always number 3.
Works, and then you see how this thing is happening here with, of course, well, I'm not talking about, obviously the affront of this raid is just sickening, and we'll get into that, but I'm trying to get into the psychology here of how people can be manipulated, and forget about the corruption, forget about the fact that your lawyers worked against you in your case, forget about all of that. Forget about all of the infiltration.
It's kind of hard to forget, though.
Well, I realize that. It didn't matter that they had good results and they swear by you. They got 3 complaints, and the FDA came down with the Gestapo. The FDA Gestapo comes down, and these fascist whatever you want to call them, Stasi, okay, or whatever. I call them Stasi, okay. Okay, so you call them these Stasi scum, totalitarian, you know.
Thugs, Howard. That's a generic term for them.
Thugs it's too generic. We need a better adjective there.
It's the ism. Don't you see? It's the ism.
It's the ism. It's the ism.
It's the cure for all ills. It's the ism.
Hard.
Yeah, and the motives, even these jerks of FDA, oh, well, doing what you're doing is too risky for the patient.
But listen, what you're doing is not a drug. See, that's what I'm so angry, because it's not a drug. You're not administering drugs.
Color be a drug, okay? And then they say, oh, anything that is used to diagnose, treat, or prevent.
That's their lock. That's their mafia lock on everything. That's how they lock it all together. That's their little legalese.
I got some.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I got something I want to put out there. Here's the name of a big man. Jeremy G. Bain, Special Agent, U.S. Food and Drug Administration, Office of Criminal Investigations, 5799 Broadmoor Street, Suite 600, Mission, Kansas, 66202. Jeremy.Bain@oci.fda.gov. This was the head thug that led the raid yesterday, and I'm pasting his business card every damn where I can.
There you go. That's it. Why don't we?
Well, he's
What?
gonna turn
Randy,
around and
Randy,
tell
type
you,
it
"I
in the
am just
chat.
following orders."
Randy, because I love this Procaster and I'm learning how to use it, and everybody can look at this and it'll be there forever.
Okay.
It'll be there on the YouTube uploads until they decide to take the video down again.
But he was reading to me. It was not in the paper given to me, but from his paper, he said it says anything used. Used, that's the use of drug. I got out of the medical dictionary the definition of drug. And get this, any non-food physical material that alters an organism's normal function by affecting physiologic process. Okay? Physiologic process are retained to physiology. Physiology is the science that is concerned with the normal vital process of an animal or vegetable organism, especially by how things normally function in the living organism rather than in the anatomical structure. A drug alters the biochemical composition, and there is no way that color can do that. Okay?
Right.
So this is the scientific
So
definition.
what did Jeremy 66202, whose telephone number is 913-236-0807, whose cell phone is also his cell phone, is 913-515-0964. He works for us. We pay his salary. His fax number, if you'd like to fax him and berate him, as I will, 913. I'm doing now, actually. I won't fax him. I don't need to. This is my tribute to you, Pig. Okay. 913-384-7421. Jeremy.Bain@oci.fda.gov. Yeah.
Your privacy is about to be invaded.
That's right. Violated, and to be attacked, and to be literally their livelihoods to be attacked and threatened to be into extinction. And this isn't just with your case. This is how these and now, I mean, you had a lawsuit against you, $2.5 million. That makes you look real bad. Makes you look real bad, Dr. Carpenter. But we know the truth, don't we?
Yeah, that's why I went and put up the video with the evidence of how that 2.5 million was put together by a kangaroo court, provided only, selected only by the plaintiff be a default that would have brought only $75,000. Okay? Yeah, that was outrageous, but certainly not ridiculous. 2.5 million for what? For saving somebody's life, and we put that.
They claim that but they're liars. It's unbelievable. I mean, they take no culpability for the fact that chemotherapy kills. Listen, I'm like really freaking mad, and I'm behind you 100% because I've done so much research on this, and this is what I talk about: the medical mafia. Talking about this, and right now I'm going to show the audience, and I'm going to show the truth of the matter is you have 3 people that are claiming this injury against you. Well, listen to this statistic that I'm showing everybody on screen. Okay,
the number one cause. Adverse drug reactions put 2.2 million people in hospitals, and 106,000 people died from adverse drug reactions alone. Forget about the cancer and the chemotherapy, which they'll be able to say, oh, well, that's because they had cancer, so they died.
Yeah.
You know, they take no responsibility. But look at this. How many died at home? 199,000 people died at home because of prescription drugs. And this is according to the Western Journal of Medicine in June 2000. And deaths in and outside of hospitals from prescription drugs total 305,000, with 8 million admissions to the hospital and 3 million for long-term care, nursing homes and things like that.
Okay, and you know what? Hundreds of thousands of people died from the, I talked about this last year, from the medication they use to control the bleeding during surgery, which makes the blood clot. And then after surgery is too clotted, what they do, they cause blood clots, they kill people, they end up either losing limb and then eventually dying because of the medication they gave him before surgery to control the bleeding during surgery. That is murder.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And
that is exactly what it is.
Me because I'm offering the things. You're offering false hope to people. I am not.
False hope.
Well, we want
you know damn well that they got that out of the book and they've been repeating it for 3 years.
From the trial, from the attempt of bond. What I'm saying is, it came down to the fact that I don't use any drugs. I kept saying,
how can you be accused of using drugs? Illegal drugs if you, and you're not and medical, but you're not using drugs. You're using, so they're saying, so any type of treatment on a human being becomes a medical treatment. That's what they're saying. They're saying that you can't. They say, you know, that, I mean, that's crazy.
What they're saying is this is using drugs, so you had to go, you didn't do clinical trial and you should have gone. And I said, you do clinical trials for drugs. So then they come back and say, okay, RCM that I use, it's just a trade name for the stain, just to be funny.
Yeah.
And, okay, I tried to keep that covered. You know what the hell RCM means and why we put it together? Okay, do you want to know what it means? I told that to the FDA. I'm going to tell that to everybody that is listening. It's a shortened for oxymoron. We use the word oxymoron because it's not a drug. It doesn't do anything at all other than absorbs the light, and it kills cancer. So with all the drugs out there, a super expensive drug to treat cancer, they're worthless, and we have something that does nothing chemically, only except for absorbing light, and that kills the cancer. That has been the biggest scare of everybody. That's why we call it.
Well, that's the truth. That's why they stole your laser. That's why they stole your laser. That's why they're going to reverse engineer your technology and the frequencies that you've come up with, or however you do your work. I mean, you're the you know.
Yeah, no, it's on the patent. They had that information. What it is they want to stop me from working.
Yeah.
Stop him. Take that laser from her. Stop her, stop her, stop her. That's what the trolls were saying all last year on the web. Stop her. Take that laser. Take that laser. And they took all the stain that I had, which is ridiculous anyway, because it's easy to reproduce. It's not as expensive as the laser. But I'm just saying, it's totally ridiculous. Then they couldn't get anywhere with what they were saying. Oh, we want the name of the people that wrote testimony. Oh, you're going to have it, and you better call them, And I just send them up today. A good number. They have all the numbers of the patient we have had. They stole all the files. And it's stealing because they didn't make copies. They took all the files.
They just took them. Yeah, they just stole them, and they took your money, too.
Oh, that's stealing.
Yes, absolutely. Right. I mean, it's a Stasi republic here. Yeah,
because doctors that give drugs do nothing. They tell the nurse, okay, attach them to the intravenous line. The doctor does it do nothing. I work really hard to do that treatment. Do they take the money of the drug company and the doctors? No, they took mine. They totally drained me of all the years of effort. I was trying to put together enough finances to take the company public, to have
And really, you worked harder for that little bit that they took than you did for everything before, because beforehand you didn't have all of this propaganda out there that had to be explained over and
But
over
I've
and
always
over.
been working hard, years and years. Get this: people spend billions a year in research. Do you know that Andy Anderson only gets 300 million from the federal government to do research on drugs? I mean, killing people during trials. That's what they're doing. Okay, they get 300 million a year from the government, plus all the donation and everything. And I did it with nothing. just
Welfare queens.
yeah. Minor investment, minor, and then all blood, sweat, and tears of mine to bring this forward. 25 years of that, and only 4 years ago we started making some money. Nothing outrageous. And what? They stole all of it. All of it.
I know, it's absolutely insane.
And what they are doing, they're stealing the freedom of patients.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it's all part of this collectivism. Let's speak to this a little. Barbara, we talked about collectivism a lot. I mean, we got the FDA going to Amish milk farms, right? Taking, raiding milk farms. We have, they want to classify walnuts as a drug. You see, this is all,
Right.
people don't understand what is going on here.
This is Bolshevism. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Absolutely. That's what I've been saying for
Well,
years.
and also it's the Hegelian dialectic and the change agents that are placed in key positions.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah, but
what it
let's
is.
talk for a moment, if we could.
Yes.
Let's talk for a moment about some of these people that are out there at the behest and the expense of the U.S. government. Make no mistake, these people, whatever you want to call them, trolls, stalkers, minions, these are out there. Michelle Wolven, Tim White. Just digress for one moment, Howard, and tell us, please, how Tim White, who has been stalking me, harassing me, libeling and slandered me for 11 years, how Tim White, just like Michelle Wolven, he called your boss at your regular job.
Yeah, he
Please
tried
tell
to.
us,
Yeah,
Howard.
well, he got through. Yeah, he got through to, and I did speak to him, and it's hysterical. Trying because he didn't realize that he was talking to somebody who's not only my boss but an awake person that's a good friend of mine. So it was sort of hysterical. So he was like, "Yes, this will be dealt with," and it was hysterical. And but I did actually speak with him. He called me at my job, and he told me that I have my head up my ass, dealing with Sherry Kane and, of course, Len Horowitz, Dr. Len Horowitz, about all of the, COINTELPRO that I, yeah, So
Yes,
it's
but now,
sort of
Howard, let me-
comical. I can't believe this. I live 10 miles down from where I grew up 10 miles down from where you live right now, because he grew up in Waterbury, Connecticut. And I'm like, well, so what? I grew up in New York. I didn't grow up here. What are you trying to say to me? What are you trying to get some common bond, Tim?
The point that's important to make.
Oh no,
that
I'll
these
keep. Okay.
people-
Oh yeah, they're crazy.
They're
Relax.
Wolven. I have already proven, I have delivered solid evidence on my website with documented evidence and on a number of radio shows that Michelle Wolven is a liar. She filed false charges of assault against numerous people, and when she got on the witness stand in court, she admitted that she had lied. Nobody But that's my whole point. And think about this in reference to Dr. Carpenter's case. The complaints that were filed, these feds listened to Michelle Wolven, the proven liar, the
And
false.
she lied about she omitted the throat cancer. They all omitted the thyroid cancer.
Exactly. The whole point is that they use liars. They use these minions. They are paid in whatever way. Timothy Patrick White was paid by a get out of jail free card. He was sentenced to 4 years, served 5 months. He made a deal with the feds to harass me and others like me that the government wanted neutralized. And now they're trying to neutralize Dr. Carpenter with a counterpart of Tim White, Michelle Wolven and company.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Good one, Randy. Courtesy of Randy. Randy, you got to play the Alex Jones clip. That's my favorite one.
I just try to get the word out. I
There
just
you
try
go.
to sit here and be a moral person and do the right thing.
Yeah, moral person.
Yeah, like he even knew what that means.
Well, what we need is truth. We
Yes,
have
we need
truth
truth.
on this program. Truth talk.
And that's why they raided me, because they even made the comment, oh, you have so many videos on YouTube. You're close to be a movie star. Oh, please.
Exactly.
All that shows is they did their homework and they knew everything about you before they showed.
Yeah, they knew.
Oh, yeah.
And the
No, they
video
knew
that,
everything that they were supposed to know about you.
right, not everything that really
Jeremy
mattered.
Bain,
Okay.
special
But
agent.
these
Mission
Yeah, this
Kansas.
guy was helping him. Yeah. He was
Yes.
trying to be.
Show him some love, everybody.
Show him some
Yeah, he was
love.
trying
Here's
to-
all his information. Be an American.
Sorry.
Be a patriot. Fight for truth.
Yeah.
Fight for the
But-
fact
but
that,
how-
that we have individual
the-
liberty.
But the point I'm trying to make here, Howard,
Yes,
is
yes.
that various factions and agencies and whatever they are of the U.S. government, and they are scraping the bottom of the barrel for the Michelle Wolvens and the Tim Whites and many others like them to do their dirty work, dirty deeds done dirt cheap. These people have no facts, they have no evidence, they have no truth, and yet who are people listening to? You go out on the internet, you put Dr. Carpenter's name, Barbara Hartwell's name in there, and you come up with
Yeah. Yeah, that's Pinocchio. But and the argument they were trying to throw out there, so you get people that are at the last stage of cancer, so they're really desperate. No, they're not. A lot of them are not. They are desperate to stay away from chemo. That's what they don't want. And a lot of them try chemo and they have bad results. So anything, that asking me, and they said, well, you don't have to answer. Yeah, because they were going to torpedo me that I didn't want to answer. I said, hey, I don't have anything to hide, so I don't have any problem answering. Well, they asked me how many grandchildren you have.
Oh, that's
Okay.
that's absolutely
Dirty.
pertinent.
Well, but no, listen to this. This is really dirty. And he asked me about the ages of my grandchildren. And then the youngest one, thinking that the youngest one will be my favorite, just so happen, if there is a favorite, because I love them all the same. But there is a particular weakness for my big guy, the firstborn. So if anything, the real weakness is the oldest one, not the youngest. But that's okay. Okay, I love them all anyway. But he said, okay, what happens if you're gets cancer? And I wanted to tell him, you idiot, you don't get cancer that way. As much as the medical trying to push that, you don't get skin cancer that way. But that's another issue. Okay.
Is this Jeremy Bain, Dr. Carpenter,
Yes.
asking idiot questions? Jeremy Bain, what
Yeah.
an idiot.
Yeah, and he said, well, your granddaughter comes down, the youngest one comes down with skin cancer. What are you going to do? Are you going to send her for standard treatment? I said, are you kidding? Absolutely not. I can treat her, it's no problem.
Jeremy
Yeah,
spoke
That what animal.
yesterday.
Well, kids,
Need to find that Jeremy sound clip of Pearl Jam.
You
well.
find it and play it. Go ahead. That's awesome,
Unbelievable.
Randy. Do it.
No, I don't have it.
you don't
I'm
have
saying
it?
I wish I did.
I
I
could.
wish I had it.
Keep going.
But Howard, the idiocy of what we're dealing with here. They are wrecking lives. They're destroying lives. I spent most of the past 2 days, and I'm not even going to get personal about my own life. I spent most of the past 2 days crying over Dr. Carpenter and what's happening to me and others, and literally crying. Okay.
I know. I spoke to you on the phone.
That's right, Howard. I'm not a weeper by nature. Almost
Definitely
nobody
not.
has ever heard me cry. And yet, when it gets to this point, and you see the idiocy of these people, you get these these buffoons, these stalker freaks, Michelle Wolf, Tim White, and they are going to determine the reality of our lives. No, they won't. They won't.
Because think of all the people that they believe the idea is that they believe the garbage they're spreading, so they stay away from this treatment. I know of a good number that have died just because they canceled their appointment to come and see me. They died.
Because of Michelle Wolven and her ilk.
Barbara, it's not even that. There are at least one that I know of that was doing fine. And guess who got to her and convinced her?
Michelle.
And she's gone now.
But exactly, that's my point, that they are listening to these government paid shills and stalkers and freaks who don't know what the hell they're talking about. And in their desperation, they are willing to believe lies about Dr. Carpenter, about any other good person that's being slandered and libeled, and the result is death. These people ought to be charged as murderers.
They intentionally are generating their death, and they're calling me a murderer. And there are people out there. How can you explain that there are people out there that are doing great, okay? And they are living a normal life, a normal, happy life. You know that before all this garbage came about, patients were not listening to it, and they were, if they had any question, they were calling me or coming back to see me again. You know that I always got flowers, plants, candy, chocolate. There was a patient that went through all this restrictive diet, and she didn't have chocolate for a year. After our treatment, she went back home. She left. The last treatment was Friday. She flew back on Saturday. On Monday morning, she called me, and she said, guess what I had for breakfast? I had chocolate.
Yeah.
To me, that is great. And when she came back for the different checkups, she always brought me chocolate cake, okay? That was
She's getting her chocolate back.
Are helping people, Dr. Carpenter, and these people are trying to, and the FDA, the big pharma, the medical mafia, they are trying to destroy you because they're
federal judges.
It's a death
Yes, the judges.
industry.
It's really collusion. It's incredible. I mean, well, what do you expect? Of course it's collusion. Of course. It's the same people. It's the people that own the Federal Reserve, the people that own the IRS, the people own Merck, the people that own Pfizer. It's the same interests here, at least, and it was originally funded by the Rothschilds, who then, of course, anointed Rockefeller because they saw what a ruthless bastard he was, granddaddy, John D., and they said, let's back this motherfucker and give it.
He would not use drugs. He will go to homeopathic doctor.
Oh, of course.
Did you know that?
Oh, yes.
That's right. I've been well aware of that for many years. They don't go. The elite don't go to the medical mafia. They go to homeopathic or naturopathic or some other modality.
Okay, do you want to know something else?
Randy, give some details.
Okay, there was an oncologist at the Children's Hospital, okay, that was treating children with cancer, okay? He ended up finding out that he had cancer. You know what? He didn't go through any standard treatment. He didn't do it. He killed himself, okay? And it was too embarrassing situation. So they kept covering up, and every year they changed the story, just like the landing, D-Day landing and the death for that day. Every year, my father said the amount was reduced. And this one, every year they changed the story a little bit. And now he's
not even an oncologist, right? He was
not a doctor. He's a technician.
Oh, okay.
He's not even a doctor now. The story is that he's a technician.
It just looks
That's
too
because
bad.
that's
having
because
an oncology-
unfortunately the poor man knew what the end result was of what he is. I mean, what he was doing. He's poisoning the people. You know.
And he didn't want to go through that. That's why he did it. He didn't
wanna
see
go
any
through
hope
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's the
did
truth.
you
I
know
heard
this is-
I heard that story. Now that you mention it, I did hear that story.
and
Or a
then they
story like
changed
it.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something about the smallpox vaccine. Smallpox was killing people from left to right. Well, do you know something? That in England, the upper class, the royalty, and really super wealthy knew about the smallpox vaccine in the 1700s. They came from the Ottoman Empire. And the wife of the ambassador to the Ottoman Empire brought it back to England, and the doctors refused to use it. And it wasn't until the beginning of the 20th century that they used it.
That's true.
Medicine has always been the same. It's always been covering up. Do you know that Dr. Marie Curie that discovered a different aspect of radioactivity? That's why the one of the measurement of radioactivity is the Curie. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Because the Curie is pretty big. Okay. She eventually, in older age, because her husband died of cancer and her son died of cancer, because she worked with all the radioactivity material at home. I guess she wasn't affected, but they were.
Sure.
So in old age, she started working into medicine. And she is the one that developed the first X-ray machine. And it was developed to help veterans of World War I find
With
shrapnel in
tuberculosis.
their-
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
no,
Shrapnel. Oh, to find shrapnel.
shrapnel.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, that was the first use, and then it came the other one. But the first use was for that. And the families of wounded veterans, instead of having them carved up at the hospital, trying to find the shrapnel, they were calling her. No, but they threw her out of the hospital because she was spreading quackery. And this was a professor of physics at the La Sorbonne.
Really?
Okay?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she was treated by doctors the way I've been treated. But what happened, her situation was a particular one, although there are a lot of similarity here. She had funding, and they gave her enough money for her to put together that machine and also have a car, and she went to the front, to the what we call MASH unit. That's not what they call them in France, but in their body, and that's how what she did became popular. See, but if it had been for the medical, it would have forever been hidden. So nothing has changed in the medical. It's still the same going on. And the only reason why she succeeded is because of the public. And that's what I am saying. Please, rise, complain. The strength is in number. Do something. I mean, it's minimal requirement of thought to realize that with heat you're killing the tumor, and if you can be selective and only heat up the tumor, there is no problem. That's it. The solution is logical. One of my patients said it's biology 101, which most people probably can handle. Biology 101, and guess what? This FDA agent, when I was explaining what was going on, he did not like the comparison to the egg. He did not like that. You must have seen the video already. But he didn't like that.
Anything, Dr. Carpenter. He's indoctrinated, and he has one goal, like a heat-seeking missile, to destroy Dr. Carpenter and lay Med Inc. You can't argue with an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, and also somebody
Have a discussion with an idiot.
And also somebody that wants to prove to the extreme what they are trying to prove and push. Do you know how stupid these people were? Not him, but another person with him said, what are milliwatts? How do you spell milliwatts? He didn't even know what a milliwatt was. It's 1,000th of a watt.
I bet he knows what a milligram is.
Oh, jeez. He did not know what a milligram was, and he did not know how to spell it.
Well, Dr. Carpenter, can we talk about donations? Donations that are needed
Yes.
and you give your website, and I guess there's a
Reddy can do
PayPal
that.
button
Okay. Yeah,
or
Reddy
some
can do
button,
that for
right?
Well,
stop.
we put it up today on the main websites, and it'll later be going up on the blogs too, which I guess are now our secondary websites.
And
What's it-
also
what-
the petition.
Is it
Lay's Med Inc.
Yeah, the
There's
video.
a
I mean
well, no,
the link.
right. Barbara was mentioning the donate button that
To
we've
donate and and to sign the petition. I signed it
right.
today.
We've got
And
I did too.
petition
I have
and
my website too.
petition buttons and donate button are on laysmedinc.com and medicalconspiracy.com, both.
And I thought that either Jimmy or somebody else said they're gonna put it on their website because other patients are gonna, people that want to donate are gonna
Yeah,
look
Dr.
at that.
Carpenter,
Actually,
I-
Pam has put it on her website too.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And in fact, we
Well,
have the link right here. Thanks, Pam. Pam's put the link on. She's doing work for because in just 10 minutes. Broadcastnetwork.com. So I'm going to show everybody the link right now. The link that's right here that Pam just posted. Everybody can look at it and get on it. It is a Blogspot link, and I will click on it and let's take a look at what it looks like. See what it looks like.
Howard?
Yes.
I just have to say, if everybody listening, okay, everybody listening, even donated $5, okay, Dr. Carpenter had her money stolen, the rent money, all the money to pay the bills and the rent. These thugs stole her money out of the safe, okay? So donations are of utmost importance. $5 a person would go a long way. Even if 100 people donated $5, it's $5,000.
No, that's $500.
Oh, 500. I'm sorry. Okay.
That's not quite right. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Mathematics.
But
I was never good in math.
okay, if 1,000 people, I'm sorry, if 1,000 people.
Would have to be 1,000, yeah.
1,000 people. But how many people are listening? How many people care about freedom, health freedom to choose a treatment? How many people, it's the last hope for these people, seriously, that they could get an effective treatment. To donate $5 to support somebody that's providing that service and that treatment that nobody else has, and they're trying to destroy you and shut you down.
After 28 years of effort trying to push this. And he said, oh, you don't have, you know, I don't know if I discussed it, but one of the comments by these idiots was, well, you obviously, your method does not work, because if it did, you would have a long line outside the door. Yeah, that's what woven creature is for, to stop that from happening.
Actually, before the
Yeah,
COINTELPRO
what?
Pro started up, you almost did have a line. You had a
Well,
waiting
the only
list.
reason why I didn't have a line is because we said always by appointment only. But we really were busy and people griping because
You
we
were,
had
you
it
were
closed.
booked out, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
for all of this.
we were booked before they did this. Not only we were booked, you know what? We had a doctor working with us, and the patient were getting insurance reimbursement. And that's what made the AMA furious in Arkansas. Stop this insurance reimbursement, because the only way the AMA survive is with insurance reimbursement. The prices are so outrageous, nobody would go to them if it was an insurance reimbursement. Do you know that a patient
Well, that's why they want mandatory health care, and everybody's got to have it, because cancer, everybody's going to get cancer. I mean, and I hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but everybody is going to be getting cancer, okay? Just because of the food, the goddamn fluoride, the goddamn chemtrails, it's everywhere. It's going to kill you. You're going to get cancer.
The drugs that they're feeding you, oh, you need this.
And the FDA, yeah, and then the big pharma. Yeah, you add it all up, it's just a bad combination, yeah.
You ever listen to all the new big pharma commercials for these new drugs that are coming out now?
Cancer.
You know, yes, and the commercials are always just totally disassociated from the verbal content of the commercial.
Okay,
but then half of it is a disclaimer talking about certain types of cancer may result. You know,
and
Orencia.
Let me tell you something about the prices, because they attack me about my prices. They're too high.
Yeah, your prices are too high.
Yeah, I'm making a killer's profit. Get this. One of the patients I've had recently, she did not have insurance because her and her husband have a small business. They're independent. When you're in that situation, it's very hard to afford insurance. So she did not have health insurance. She had this cancer in her throat that it took him forever to figure out that it was cancer. So she was a mess by the time she came to see me. But before she came, she was trying to go to Cancer Center of America in Tulsa, okay? Do you know what they told her? In order for her to be accepted at Cancer Center of America without insurance, she had to give a down payment. Down payment, mind you, not full payment. You know how much that down payment was? $250,000. Down.
And you are charging too much, Dr. Carpenter. You're a criminal. Oh my
Yes,
God.
absolutely.
It is totally opposite land. Like Vinny Be the Truth, God bless his soul, always says. It's opposite land. You're the one charging like $15,000 for a treatment or whatever it is. And they're charging
Not even that.
$250,000, whatever. God knows. Who knows? Whatever. I don't know your prices. Whatever. But
it depends on the number of days of treatment.
But I mean, you're not charging them $250,000 to begin with before we give you the tamoxifen at $1,000 a pill.
It's insane. It's insanity.
Oh my God! It's mentalness.
Well, what was it, Dr. Carpenter? You said now that the I'll go ahead and say her damn name, Therese Westphal.
Do it. You got listen. We got to get people on record.
She paid as far as the 200 the $2.5 million that they judged.
She paid to us $6,250, and the judgment was $2.5 million for her to be alive.
Against you, you, who helped.
Right, because she was fine.
It's unbelievable.
And before that, she tried to be an employee. She tried to push her way into being a full-time employee of Dr. Carpenter's and basically persuaded her to buy her a laptop, which after she turned on her, she wouldn't return.
What? Because she said, I'm going to spread the word on how great this treatment is. Okay.
Yes, spread the word, and then you end up with a $2.5 million judgment against you. They seize all your things, including your laser equipment, and they destroy, basically disable your computers and steal your cash, and now you can't pay the rent.
Yeah, and this same lady that sued her tried to get her to set up a display in her office for mastectomy bras.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Mastectomy bras.
It's unbelievable the thing she tried to do. It's just unreal. And all of that was totally forgotten and ignored in a court case. And beside that, judgment was illegal. It could not happen, just like the trial. So they couldn't collect on that. So they sent FDA to raid me because what I do is illegal and is hurting people.
And they used a false pretense, a sting operation, a ruse, in order to say, oh, we're going to make an appointment for somebody.
Yeah, to make sure that the laser will be there and I will be there, so they could steal it.
A fictitious patient who never existed, and they come in and they run this sting operation. It is unbelievable in the United States of America. It should be unbelievable to anyone listening.
Barbara, you really would think.
This on your show.
You really would think. Say that again, Randy. I'm sorry.
I said, I dare you, Mike Adams. Get this on your damn show. Get this on your website.
Yeah, why don't you put that on there? Yeah, listen. Again, another controlled opposition component.
Yes, that's what he is. Yeah, yes, that's what he is.
It's a component.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to say it, man, because a lot. That's the thing. Why is it that the FDA, they put certain light on things and not light on other things when it comes to reporting against this tyranny. And it only seems to be Infowars.com that really does it, and then Drudge Report is nice enough to include Infowars in their streams. But I don't know, man. Yeah. It's just it's relentless. And it's not just that, but the health community is going to be suffering because
Has been suffering for years.
well,
but
they're
it's getting
pushing
worse.
they're pushing other. I don't want to get into like this whole thing, but they're again, it's a controlling the opposition. If you're going to be a health, they say, Dr. Carpenter, that somebody tries to get help and the medical mafia kills them. I just gave the statistics 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you, 3 people complain. 3 people complain, and you get a.
That went for chemo, and then they died. They didn't die after my treatment. They went for chemo, and then they died.
Exactly.
And the 3 complainants are liars. They're paid.
Yeah.
Of countless people that they are influencing, and they are backed by the federal government, medical mafia, big pharma. It is disgusting. It's an atrocity.
And I don't see how people that see that happening every day. Do you know how many people I hear saying, okay, my friend, my mother, my sister, all relatives died because they had breast cancer and they went to standard treatment and they died. They didn't die of cancer, they died of treatment.
Even on Orion, just in the last couple of days, JJ has relatives that have died of cancer. Popeye's mother, down the rabbit hole, federaljack.com, his mother.
They didn't die of cancer, they died of treatment.
Of chemo, I'm sorry. See, they've got me indoctrinated. I can't help it. I say they died of cancer.
Both my parents died of cancer treatment. I cried. There crying as I saw what had happened as a result of these chemotherapy and radiation treatments. It is absolutely disgusting.
Well, and my mother, I lost my mother 2 years ago, and
Not cancer, too much
no,
okay?
no, but it was a similar. It was similar in that, if not for the compartmentalization of the medical industry, and different protocols interfering with one another, contraindications, within a 10-year period. Actually, it was more like over a 20-year period, or 15 to 20. They brought her from reasonably good health to practically an invalid.
That's what they do. They absolutely. It's all about making you, taking all your wealth, putting you on the system, making you sicker, and then eventually just euthanizing you. They call it, I guess. They think it's euthanasia.
Well,
we call it
All
genocide.
of us have been affected. Yes, it's genocide, but
It's
all
genocide.
of us here on this program have been affected in a horrific way by this, and that's why we are here.
That's
and
right.
I have to give you, Howard, because you are heroic for promoting the truth after all these disinformation shills and liars. Thank you, Howard. God bless you.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Howard.
Well,
Yes.
Well,
Because
again,
we need to have people understand what is going on.
we're
There's
gonna
no
keep
way
we're
they
gonna
can
keep
fight.
hitting this issue. I'm at war with the FDA now over this. This is insane. I mean, I've always been against the FDA, but now it's like a war. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, have gotten in the last couple of months, really, but we won't stop, and I don't know how else to defy them other than to expose them for everything they do, like hitting me with a neuro weapon on the air live. I mean, what else can do that? I look like a total idiot because I couldn't think. Literally, they took my capacity to think away. But all right.
They were sabotaging my emails. They have been. I sent Randy several emails over the past couple days. He did not get one of my emails. Not
Of
one.
course not.
Nope.
Anyway,
Let's
Nope.
see.
we're under attack
That
here.
should not
We're gonna fight. And Dr. Carpenter, I want to thank you because we have now Harry Link coming up in just a moment with Death to the New World Order
Okay.
here on TruthBroadcastNetwork.com. I want to thank Pam Suggs at UnitedTruthSeekers.com. She is my rock. Gets all this information out. Randy Simmons,
Thanks,
thank you for
Pam.
joining us. Right? And thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Randy, you're always
Thank you
welcome
very
here.
much. Bye.
And Dr. Carpenter as well. And Barbara, you know that you're always welcome. You don't even need an invitation. So God bless you all. And now, Death to the New World Order with Harry Link here on truthbroadcastnetwork.com.